Are we out of the woods yet? Yesterday, we had a lot of activity in the financial markets. Right now, the markets are more sentimental than fundamental than technicals. This is where we are currently at the moment. S&P 500, look at all this whooping. When you look at, this is on the weekly performance, Google down 5%. At least we have recovered some bit, and we shall go into that in a few moments' time. When you go to NASDAQ, the same thing, whooping. But when you look at the daily performance, okay, things are starting to pick up. But, could we be out of the woods yet? Yesterday, we had someone by the name Walter Bloomberg who did push up some information that were not exactly correct, whereby he did post in his Twitter account that maybe the United States is going to pause its tariffs for the next 90 days. The markets went into a frenzy. As you can see, if we go to chart analysis for gold, let me pull up a chart of gold. This is XAUUSD, the golden metal, the sentimental, the most emotional asset you can be trading right now in the financial markets, gold. Look at this. Ever since today morning, when the markets did open today, we have seen more than 2.43% recovery on gold, which is around 700 pips, which is quite the amount of percentages return from this movement ever since we did consider this a market crash from April the 25th, whereby the market did lose at least 6.59%. Right now, the markets are retracing. Could this be a signal that the markets are coming out of the dangerous? Could the storm have already passed? And this is the question we want to ask ourselves today. What does this mean? Yes, we look at tariffs and we can see that the trade wars, the tariffs that are going on, it's a war between the United States and China, whereby the US wants to reduce these trade deficits. They want a bigger share of the pie, whereby they want to be less dependent or more or less equal to China. Now, Trump is threatening 104% tariffs. It did start with 20%, then came the 34%, totaling it to 54. Right now, Trump is threatening a further 50% on tariffs on China's imports. What does this mean for the global economy? When you look at countries like Vietnam, they've already come to the table. They want to discuss about the tariffs. When you look at Germany as due to the European Union is due to speak next week. We will want to see what these guys have to say about the tariffs. When you look at Mexico currently at the moment nothing is happening, but the biggest war that is happening right now is between China and USA. Trump doesn't want to talk to anybody else if it is not China. Now, when you're looking at gold, going back to gold here in just a moment. Yesterday, we had a massive sell off on US bonds. Now, this is very crucial because people are now moving back to safer havens. Gold is starting to pick up the trajectory, the upward trend that it has been having for quite a number of. This is on the 2 hour time frame. Let me move my beautiful face somewhere there so that we can see this in a much better, clearer manner. Now, this is the first day within the last, let's say, trading week, whereby we have seen some bullish presence in the financial markets. Bulls have started coming back into the markets, especially on gold. What does this mean? When you look at Bitcoin still staying down there. I don't know what it's trying to do, but maybe just maybe in the next few trading sessions, we might see that the markets will start recovering what has been happening over the past few days. Now, today is 9th April 2025, whereby the tariffs took place today. End of business yesterday, starting today, the tariffs are now in place, whereby what you do to us, we do to them. That was according to President Donald J. Trump. Now, looking at US NASDAQ. NASDAQ currently at the moment, you want to wait and see what New York has to offer for the day. But looking at price action currently at the moment, we found the bottom? Are we out of the woods? Has the storm passed? Is it behind us? This is what we want to know in today's market session. Remember, we are due to receive inflation numbers this week, But the markets right now are more sentimental than ever before. The market is moved by fear. I was speaking about Walter Bloomberg, whereby he did pass out information yesterday that was not very accurate, and the markets reacted to it so drastically. We did so panic selling, panic buying in most of the assets, especially the US denominated assets, whereby, yes, we had this massive recovery compared to what has been happening on the previous day. The Russell 2000 is still in limbo, whereby could we have bottomed out at 1,754? Only one way to find out. Brent oil, oh my lord, tanking each and every day. It's now not profitable for oil to be profitable, it has to be selling above $60 a barrel. Currently, we are going to territories whereby oil is not going to be a profitable endeavor to be in. When you look at Western Texas oil, the same thing can be said, whereby it's now trading at $56 a barrel. This is far less. This is far less than the profitable threshold that they need to be selling oil at. Oil needs to be sold above $60 a barrel for it to be profitable. When you're looking at the dollar index, yikes, not very healthy. But these upcoming sessions are going to be very crucial for us traders. We want to see what the markets have in store for us, especially with the tariffs. What is China going to do about this? What is UK going to do about it? The UK currently are in talks with the United States, and they do believe that they are going to get a deal that is going to favor both countries. Now, remember that tariffs right now, it's all about the wars. The United States want to reduce the trade deficits between them and other countries. They want a bigger share of the global trade, and this is what Trump wants to do. Now, for us traders, gives us a lot of opportunities. It gives us a lot of opportunities in the financial markets to be participating. Right now, stocks are at the best time to be buying S&P 500. I do believe that, yes, in the next few trading sessions, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but we do anticipate that the markets are going to start recovering, and we are going to continue with the bullish presence that we have been seeing over the past few trading days. Now, at the moment, I'm not going to be particularly executing on the US 500 in this particular upcoming session, New York session that is about to open, but I want to focus more on gold. Looking at the daily perspective, as we have seen, the daily change currently at the moment is at 2.19%, which is quite significant considering that we have lost almost 6% in the past 5 trading days. Now, this is very crucial for us traders because this is a safe haven. Currently at the moment, investors want to look at assets that are going to be safe havens. Where are we going to park our money? Where is our money safe? And this is what institutions are currently looking at in the moment. Now, I would want to look at the Commitment of Traders report coming out this Friday. Where are the institutions? As we saw last week, we had almost 24,000 short positions being added on gold and almost 7,000 long positions being offloaded from gold. Looking at the H4 time frame, because this is where I'm going to pay most of the attention coming to New York Open today, I will want to wait and see a short-term retracement from the daily highs. If I could pull back up a Fibonacci from the low of the day to the high of the day, whereby it brings me to this region of inefficiencies around what magical number is this? Around $3,000 and 15, whereby I would want to wait for the markets to come back down a bit to the downside, to the magical ratio for further pushes to the upside, maybe going back to all-time highs in the next few trading sessions. This is what I would want to participate in currently at the moment. My stop loss is going to be dependent on the entry. If we do find support around this region, if we do get the markets relaxing, taking a breather around the magical $3,000 an ounce, this will be very healthy for us in the long-term perspective. Now, moving on to currencies, EU is moving in our favor. We did have this analysis. Currently, the position is very healthy at the moment. We might be heading to our take profit in the next few trading sessions. Moving over to British pound against the United States dollar, we will want to wait and see what the market has to offer. I don't like the price action currently at the moment, whereby this could be manipulation, this was accumulation. We might be waiting for the distribution aspect of the markets, whereby could there be a possibility that the market will continue rising to the upper side? We did have the Reserve Bank of New Zealand today lowering their rates from 3.7 to 3.5. Now, this is very, very interesting because most of the economies currently at the moment are reducing their rates in a bid to lower inflation or fight inflation currently at the moment. Now, we did see the market take out the lows that was created on 7th, which was Monday, and the markets closed above that region, which is very crucial for us. If you're a price action trader, this could be a liquidity raid on sell side liquidity, and the markets could be headed further to the upper side. Remember, when a central bank does lower their rates, it does weaken the economy, but it does stimulate the economy in a way whereby they're telling their people, come take loans. Loans are going to be cheaper. Sustain yourself, build businesses. We are going to offer you prices at a much better price, so to say. Now, looking at USD Swiss franc price action not bringing. It is not healthy at the moment. What I would want to look at is US dollar against the Chinese yuan. Now, this is something. This is something. Yesterday, no, if the Chinese yuan, and this was something that Trump did mention, if the Chinese yuan is weaker, it means that imports and exports are going to be much cheaper. Goods are going to be much more available. And this was something Trump was fighting so much. And he was so against the Chinese yuan being devalued so that imports to the United States are going to be much cheaper. If you look at price action, ever since the tariffs, we have been making highs and highs and highs on the US dollar against the Chinese yuan. Especially this time, I do believe we are at recent alter. Oh, I didn't notice. We are actually at highs that was created back in 2023 September, and this is very interesting. We want to see, will Trump uphold what he wants to do with the 104% tariffs? This is going to be very interesting. This is going to provide us with a lot of opportunities. This is the time to be alive. This is the time for you to start learning about forex trading. This is the time to buy when the masses are fearful.